Shabbat Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be here with you this evening to provide an update on the ongoing war. First, I want to thank Rabbi Ellen Ninhauser, Hector Charlton, and the B'nai Israel Board for hosting me, and all of you for being here. Speaking to communities like yours is one of the greatest joys in my job, so thank you. As we know, Israel did not choose this war. It was forced upon us by Hamas, a brutal terror organization that, on October 7th, 2023, sent thousands of terrorists into southern Israel to slaughter, rape, and kidnap men, women, and children. On that horrific day, more than 1,200 of our brothers and sisters were murdered, and 251 were kidnapped to Gaza. Today, 59 hostages, 5 of them American citizens, remain in captivity, enduring what can only be described as hell on earth. With each passing day, their chances for survival diminish. This is why the supreme mission of the State of Israel and the IDF is to bring every hostage home. But as I will discuss, that responsibility does not fall on Israel alone. It belongs to the entire free world. This war was launched by Hamas, but Israel now faces threats on 7 different fronts: Gaza, Judea and Samaria, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Iraq, and Iran. At the center of these threats stands Iran, a state sponsor of terror ruled by an extremist Ayatollah regime committed to Israel's destruction and hostile to the free world. Their strategy is threefold. 1, train, arm, and fund terror proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. 2, incite anti-Semitic violence and propaganda in the West. And 3, attack Israel directly, as seen in the missile barrages of April and October last year. With Iran's backing, Hamas has ruled Gaza with an iron fist for the past 18 years. Instead of building a future for their people, they poured billions into terror tunnels, rockets, and personal enrichment. Hamas leaders became billionaires while embedding their weapons and fighters in civilian areas, including hospitals, schools, mosques, and universities. Beneath the surface, they built a subterranean terror network larger than the subway systems of New York and London combined. Hamas's strategy is as clear as it is cruel: use civilians as human shields. As Yahya Sinwar, the now deceased mastermind of October 7th, said, Palestinian civilian deaths, quote, infuse life into the veins of Palestine. In pursuit of their genocidal goals, Hamas has tortured, starved, and sexually assaulted hostages. They continue to release propaganda videos forcing hostages to beg for their lives on camera, part of a long and horrifying list of abuses. Even in rare cases, when some Palestinians in Gaza have spoken out against Hamas, they have been brutally repressed by this terror regime. In March, a 22-year-old Gazan named Oday Nasser al-Rabe joined local demonstrations against Hamas. In retaliation, Hamas kidnapped Oday, tortured, and then murdered him, before finally dumping his body in front of his family's home. Anyone who claims Hamas is a resistance movement or is fighting for the rights of Palestinians likely has little to no idea of the savagery with which Hamas treats their own people. Yet many in the West, including institutions like the International Criminal Court and International Court of Justice, lack the moral clarity to distinguish between a democracy defending its citizens and a terror group committing atrocities against their own people and those they deem to be infidels. The ICC's decision to issue arrest warrants for both Hamas leaders and Israeli officials, including Prime Minister Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Gallant, is a grotesque distortion of international law that should be concerned to all who value life, liberty, and justice. For Israelis, this war is not an abstraction. Its victims, both those murdered on October 7th and those fighting to prevent another massacre, are friends, family, and neighbors. The profound value Israel places on life informs the decisions its leaders and soldiers make. Unlike Hamas, the IDF operates in full accordance with international law. It targets terrorists while doing everything possible to minimize civilian casualties. To date, Israel has facilitated the delivery of over 1.8 million tons of humanitarian aid to Gaza by land, sea, and air, an extraordinary effort unmatched in modern warfare. As John Spencer, chair of urban warfare studies at West Point, noted, the IDF has achieved the lowest combatant to civilian death ratio in modern military history, approximately 1 to 1.5. For comparison, most modern conflicts result in civilian casualties making up 80 to 90% of the total. This ethical approach is rooted in the IDF's code, the Ruach Za'al, the spirit of the IDF, which upholds the preservation of human life as a supreme value. This code has deep roots in Judaism. In Deuteronomy, God tells Moses, I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore, choose life, that you and your offspring may live. On October 7th, Hamas chose death. Israel, as it celebrates its 77th birthday, has chosen life. That choice, again and again, in the face of unimaginable adversity, is a defining feature of Israeli society. As Consul General Sultan Dadon said, Israel chooses life. We choose to protect life, and we choose to fight for one another and for our shared identity, for the peoplehood that binds us together for millennia. We do not seek war, we do not rejoice in combat, but we will unapologetically and unreservedly defend our existence as a free people in our ancient homeland. Unfortunately, there are those outside of Israel who remain confused about who chooses life in this war and who chooses to extinguish it. On October 8th, the day after the largest slaughter of Jews since the Holocaust, pro-Hamas demonstrators gathered outside our consulate in Atlanta to celebrate the massacre. Before Israel had taken any significant military action in Gaza, anti-Semitism was already spreading like wildfire. This ancient hatred, expressed in anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, and anti-Israel incitement, has triggered a modern wave of violence and propaganda. A pogrom in Amsterdam, false accusations of genocide in media and in government chambers, and Jewish students feeling unsafe on campuses across North America and Europe. Those who call for Israel's destruction are not only attacking Jews, they are attacking the foundations of the free world. We have seen them desecrate not only Israeli flags, but also American, Canadian, and European flags. Their vandalism targets not just Jewish spaces, but public squares and national monuments as well. When we observe them boarding public transportation or occupying a college library to keep Zionists out, we must understand that countering this extremism is a responsibility we all share. As history teaches us, hatred of Jews in Israel is a warning sign for society at large. When anti-Semitism thrives, no one is safe. This Yom HaShoah reminded us of where unchecked anti-Semitism can lead. Yom HaZikaron reminded us of the price we pay to be, in the words of Israel's national anthem, Hatikva, a free people in our land. And now, on Yom HaAtzmaut, we are reminded of the privilege and responsibility of living in a time when the Jewish people are home, sovereign, and strong. As a consulate director, I'm often asked, what can I do to help? The answer is quite a lot, but here are 3 key actions. First, raise your voice. Call your representatives. Speak out on social media. Wear a yellow ribbon and a hostage tag. Demand the release of all the hostages and the unconditional surrender of Hamas. In order for this war to end, both of those objectives must be achieved. Second, educate yourself. Consume reliable, fact-based information. After tonight, I will share with Hector, who will then share with all of you, a list of trusted resources, including a link to our Israel at War newsletter. Knowledge is your best defense against anti-Israel propaganda and lies. Third, visit Israel. If you are asking, is now the right time? The answer is yes. Now is the most meaningful time to go. Allie can testify. Your presence there sends a powerful message to Israelis that they are not alone and that you are with them. As we work toward a safer, stronger Israel, let us remember we are living the dream. For thousands of years, our ancestors prayed, fought, and died to return to our homeland. The fact that we have a state and an army is nothing short of a miracle. The eternal people have never feared the long journey. We know who we are, and we know what we fight for. Each of us carries the responsibility to preserve this modern miracle that we call Israel and secure its future. May our hostages return home swiftly. May our soldiers return home safely. And may we all live to see a day when Israel and her neighbors dwell together in peace.